Well, good morning, everybody. I am the Bald Guy. I'm so happy you have returned as we're continuing our story from 1 through 6. And if you remember last time, Adam and Eve had just got kicked out of the garden. Okay? And remember, they are like kids right now. They thought they were just being sent out to die as they're being let out. But God is complete love, folks, and you can see it because we don't know how much time passes for this part here. But after they're kicked out, either an angel or Jesus himself, which I seem to think it would be Jesus himself, walks with Adam and Eve, and through the course of don't know how many years, taught them how to live. Okay? I seem to think it was Jesus, and he taught them how to live. He taught them everything they would need to know. How to make houses, how to make clothing out of animal skin that was left when the animals started attacking the other animals when the world sin entered the world. Okay, before they did do that, now they did. How to survive for all of this, okay? And he taught them basically the Mosaic law on sacrifices, how to honor God, how to live for God, and things like that. So he's spent a lot of time with them. Okay, remember, God wanted to show them that yes, he still loves man, and he's still going to take care of them. So he does that. So in the course of time, they learn how to farm, how to take care of themselves, how to cook, all this other stuff. God teaches them everything. They're like kids. They're adults, but they're like kids. So they had to be taught. Now, as we move on, later on, they have Cain and Abel. Okay? Now, a lot of people seem to think that Cain and Abel were twins. I don't know. But anyway, Cain and Abel grows up. Now, Adam and Eve have a lot more kids besides Cain and Abel after them, okay? And Cain and Abel grow up, and they marry their sister. Today's world, no. But back then, not much. There was kind of limited choice there, so they had to do that. So, and it was okay. Back then, it was okay. So, basically, they marry in the family there, and then they move on. And they have kids, and so forth and so on. So, Adam and Eve's family is growing. Now, we don't know how old Cain and Abel is when this next event happens. Remember, Moses, he just likes to stick to facts. We've talked about that before. But he basically... at some point in time, there was probably a lot more sacrifices before this event happened, but they had sacrificed, and Cain did his, and Cain, this dude's kind of messed up because he was not really into it, okay? He knew about God, and he knew what he's supposed to do, but his heart wasn't in it. He was like, whatever. I mean, it's just, okay, I gotta do this, so he just does it. Now, Abel, on the other hand, this dude was, just like his dad, is devoted to God, and they take of what they do to sacrifice. Now, Cain took grain because he was a farmer. He was next in line to continue family line. And Abel tended the sheep. He was second born. So therefore, his job was to take care of the livestock. Well, he took the best of his lamb, just like he was told to do, and he sacrificed it. His heart was with God. So God accepted Abel's and Cain's. He came down and told Cain himself, like, your heart's not in this. And he tried to set Cain straight. Like, dude, you need to sacrifice correctly. Well, Cain did not take that very well. I mean, he was rip-roaring mad. And I kind of told the story this in my other video, but basically, long story short, at some point he decided Abel was gone because God warned him that he was not going to be head of the household anymore if he kept doing what he was doing. So he decided he was going to take matters into his own hands. So he kills Abel, and he goes and he's thinking everything is fine, but God confronts him, tells him, dude, nope. He gives him his punishment, and he banishes him away from the family so his sin can't continue inside the family. And that's pretty much what happens there. Okay, so now Cain goes off and he makes, with his whole family, his whole clan, and then they start growing in this other area and start having kids and families. He builds a city, and he is basically devout of God. He has nothing to do with them. So basically the evil side. Now Adam and Eve have another child. Now we don't know why the line didn't continue with Abel's line, but God had other plans. So he gave him another son, which was Seth. Now, Seth's line was the sons of God line, and they were totally devoted to God. So you had God's line, and you had Cain's line. So, now we're set in this story. Seth's line, which is, he's growing up, he's devoted to God, he's teaching his kids. Cain's over here setting himself up as king. He is teaching them all that, it's all about self, all about do what you want to do, and creates warriors, and, and these guys become mean, nasty people, which are the Nephilim, and they are really, really, mean warriors, okay? And they don't care about nothing. And now this line over here is growing, and this one's over here is growing. Okay, so at some point in time, now, Cain's man sees how beautiful the daughters of Seth's line is, and takes them as wives. And the men over here on this side saw how beautiful they was, so they started intermingling as the lines grew. They started intermarrying. Now, nope, because this just started a whole chain reaction of evil. So, eventually, Seth's line was getting smaller and smaller, because the ones that were in Seth's line started perverting and being evil too, and forgetting about God. So, and that's where it all comes to a head right there. So I'm going to end the video here. So we have Seth's line, who is eventually getting smaller, and then we have Cain's line, which basically is getting bigger. The evil side is just like, and it's starting to take over the world. I mean, it is nasty. Okay, violence, people doing what they wanted to do, they are doing whatever, they're intermarrying, they basically forgot about God. And there's only a few in Seth's line that's getting left, and God's getting ready to do something about it and end it all. So, that's the story so far. Okay, so we saw this whole progression of evil setting out throughout the world. And so God is getting ready to put a stop to it and do a new beginning. Okay, so I will wrap it up here, and we will do part 4, where we'll finish this story out up to this point. So I hope you've enjoyed it so far. You've got a lot of information. It's been a really wild ride so far of learning about God, and pretty awesome. Like I've always said, to wrap it up with this one here. You trust only the authority of God. Now, I heard they came out with a new Bible where they put Enoch in there and they put all this other stuff in there. Absolutely not. The original Canaan, the original Bible with the books that are in it is all that we're supposed to be relying on, folks. So if you go by this other book, that's apostasy. Do not do that, okay? Okay, I'm just telling you that God gives us what we need to know in this Bible, and that's what we stick to, and we stick to the truth, and we stick to the gospel, and we continue to preach the gospel. And the gospel is Jesus came. He is God. He came down here. You know, he lived a life of a man without sin, went on that cross. He died for us. He came back on the third day and rose again. And as long as we believe in him, just as it was back then, as long as we believed in God, as long as they believed in God, everything will be fine. And that is today. We will be with him. They chose not to believe with him, and a lot of people today are chosen not to believe with him. Okay? And they're perverting the scripture, and they're perverting what God says. And it's horrible. Okay? Use these other books, learn about these other books as, just information like, okay, that's cool. But we do not take it as fact. We cannot, okay? Because if we could, it would be in there. Okay? But it's not in there. The only facts we ever take for are the Bible. So keep that in mind, okay? Always keep that in mind, and keep studying, keep learning. It's an amazing adventure. Okay, the facts are there. Everything else, if we believe in that main gospel, everything else, we can go back and forth on, and pure fun, exciting dialogue. Like, oh, this is cool. Yeah, okay, you believe that, but I believe that sons of God were angels. Okay, whatever. If we're not clear on it, God will tell us later, okay? This is the story of what I believe and how things went down, okay? This is my version of events, okay? But I still stick with the main truths of the Bible itself, too. Because what is written, okay? All right. So I love you all. And I hope you learned some stuff, and I've learned some stuff, and it's been interesting. So I will see you for part 4. Love you. Bye. Out.